Welcome in, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always good to see you guys, but even better under these circumstances.
No doubt. Congratulations. And I have to know, we heard the soundbite earlier of you referencing the fact that Marissa, your wife, and your son Brooks were not in Phoenix. So when you came home late Sunday night, early Monday morning, what was the greeting like when you guys finally got a chance to connect?
It was like 3:30 in the morning when I got home. So Brooks was sleeping. Marissa was kind of awake, kind of out of it. But it was super cool. You know, I thought I was excited to win the race Sunday, but honestly, waking up, she woke me up with him on my stomach, and he was smiling and grinning. That was even cooler than winning the race. So I wish they could have been out there, but they're going to go this weekend at Atlanta, so I guess the pressure's on.
Oh, you got us sold on Atlanta this weekend.
So they wanted to go to
how
Phoenix.
Their minds change after a big win like that.
She wanted to go to Phoenix Friday morning, and I told her no. I was like, don't worry about going out there. I was like, it's so much trying to take the baby and all that stuff. And she's like, well, we can fly commercial. And I was like, it's just not worth it last minute. Like,
she's definitely going to forgive you for that one.
Well, then they were going to fly out Saturday with her mom. They were going to surprise me, and she's like, I just don't think Chase really wants me out there. So it really shot myself in the foot when it came to win on Sunday. But yeah, they're going this weekend, so that'll be good.
Good sales pitch for the weekend. All right, take me back to these restarts, man. And that's where the boys got you out front on an awesome pit stop. But then the restarts. It's one thing to get out front, lead those laps and everything. When that caution came out, you've got your teammate, a 9-time champion at that particular race, starting on your outside. The nerves had to have been through the roof.
Yeah, they were definitely high, and the race had been going, having so many long green flag runs. I thought that was the potential there with 80-something to go. That was going to be the last restart. And I was honestly surprised Chase took the outside. I'd taken the outside, I want to say, going into the end of stage one, and I got beat from William on the inside. So when he gave me the inside, I was kind of thankful that it was going to work out. So
where were you looking right there? Were you worried about Kevin on the outside, or were you worried about
right there? I didn't even know Kevin was on my outside, honestly. I drove it in so deep trying to beat Ross. I felt like he was going to be my biggest competition on that restart, just because he got to my left side. And I knew, it's bad to say for Kevin, but he was, I wasn't really worried about him being on my right rear because I was going to diamond off anyways. So as long as I could beat Ross, I was going to be okay. And we were both on the chip driving all the way down into one as far as we could. And I think we both knew that whoever, got the lead. And where they were about to show, that was what won me the race. I was able to get back around him on the outside, and I was committed that I was probably going to hit the wall right there. I thought there was no way I was going to get back around him, and it ended up sticking and working out.
That was awesome. So we're sitting there and I'm watching this thing, and Johnny Klausmeyer is like excited, man.
Yeah.
We get down to that last he could not sit still for anything, right? Yeah. And think about it, right? A long-standing engineer, crew chief in the sport, and now he's sitting here. He just got his third win, and you with your first. So talk to me a little bit about how that relationship is building with him and the team, and that communication. How's that going? Because you guys have really improved your performance this year coming into 2022.
Yeah, I think last year, obviously with us going to the racetrack and having no practice, it was tough to learn each other. We'd never worked with each other before, and my lingo coming from the dirt side is a little different than a couple of the guys he's had in the past. Clint was probably his only other dirt guy he had, and Clint grew up late model racing. Count. I grew up sprint car racing, so the feel is kind of different for what we're looking for. So yeah, I felt like last year at the end, we started running honestly 10th to 15th pretty consistently. We didn't always finish there, but we had good speed. And this year we came out of the box and had really good speed week in and week out. And Johnny's always done a really good job of getting the car by the end of the race exactly how I like it. And I think as we've been able to get practice now, we've been able to get the car pretty close to how I like it for the start of the race. And that's been a huge thing for us.
That's great.
Well, take me to the 14 car. I was able to win in that car, and Stuart Haas, when you say Stuart Haas, Tony Stewart, that old driver of that car, him calling you and just the significance of that, what it meant to you being an Indiana boy, getting that opportunity to 14, and finally, being in victory lane and making that whole dream come true.
Yeah, it was huge. For me, I literally grew up a diehard Tony Stewart fan. It started as a 20 car, but it turned into the 14 car. And for me, it's just so special to get a drive for your hero. No different if Tony got a drive and win for AJ. It would have been so special to him. So for me, how many people can say they drive in the Cup Series, right? It's 1 out of 40 guys every year that get to drive in the Cup Series. But out of those 40, how many can say they get to drive the car they would pick growing up? I think it's pretty special for me just to be in that 14 car, to grow up 45 minutes from where Tony grew up. We both grew up sprint car racing. There's just a lot of similarities. So it was really special for me to get the 14 back in victory lane. It's got a lot of history with you, a lot of history with Tony, a lot of history with AJ, and a lot of others. So it was cool to add my name to the winners list.
You thought it was cool when Greg Zipadelli was filling in on the box in the Xfinity Xfinity Series, and you won with him. Now you've won in the 14 car, so you've taken it to a whole new level. You referenced in the Victory Lane interview about almost giving up on this thing and going back to Indiana and it never working out. Tell us that story that has allowed you to stay in the sport and now reach the highest level, the pinnacle, with a win.
Yeah, so after high school, I moved to North Carolina and was sleeping on couches, volunteering at race shops, and I'd been down for, I want to say, almost 3.5 years, and I was moving back. I was driving back with half of my stuff. I was going to go run a midget race that weekend. I was going to come back and get the rest of it and go back home, and I was driving through Kentucky, called my mom, honestly broke down crying. I'd been down there for 3.5 years. Nobody really was my friend down there. I didn't know a lot of people, and even I would go to places to volunteer, and they would turn me down because they didn't want the liability. So I was driving back, and an hour after calling her, I got a call from an ARCA team called Cunningham Motorsports about maybe running the test, and they had an extra car that was going to be going. I still don't really know how they even knew about me, and I said, yeah, I'll be there Monday morning, and showed up and told them I'm willing to volunteer my time here if it means anything. And I was there for probably 6 or 7 months before I got in the car, and that test turned into a race, that race turned into a full season, and then that turned into a championship, which got me a Ford contract, and then spiral 4 years later, and we're in the Cup Series. And it's been an unbelievable journey. Without a lot of people, Briggs Cunningham and Beth Cunningham in particular, there's no way I'm sitting here today. So there's been many times for sure where my career could have been over. Even 2 years ago, the Xfinity, at the end of 2019, I was done. They were going to cut me. 3 days before they cut me, my dad's walking down the streets of Las Vegas, and this guy sees him in a 98 Briscoe hat and yells out, and it ends up being the highpoint.com CEO, and says, here's my business card if I can do anything for you guys. And 3 days later, he was on our car for the Xfinity season. And there's been a lot of times like that where my career could have been over, and it ended up, a door opened up, and we were able to keep going.
Meant to be, and you've made the most of your opportunity. You're a Cup winner.
Yeah, it's crazy. I keep telling everybody this week, I never in a million years thought that I would run a single truck race, let alone win a race in all 3 series, and now be a winner in the Cup Series is unreal.
There it is, man, the celebration. Congratulations again. Thank you for being here. And now you have the family with you.
Yeah.
Go win in Atlanta.
Thank you, guys.